Quest Aircraft would like to introduce you to the new backcountry airplane that changes everything. The Kodiak. Rugged construction, high useful load, modern STOL design, and turbine power.
The Kodiak can be set apart in many ways. The primary one, and probably the most obvious one, is performance. I mean, what it does and the way that it performs is designed to be better than anything that's out there.
I've flown quite a few different airplanes, and to be able to push that throttle forward and the amount that it sets you back in the seat, I've never felt in any other airplane.
750 horsepower. That big prop swinging out there.
This market segment has been addressed in the past by airplanes such as the Beaver and the Otter from de Havilland. But those designs are over 50 years old, and the planes haven't been produced for a long time. So this plane is in some way steps into that portion of the market where bush, utility, backcountry applications are very appropriate, and the power that is needed in order to be able to safely fly in these environments is really required. Other planes have been used for that, but that's not the intent that they were originally designed for. An airplane stems from the original design and the thinking that goes into the construction of it, some of the little decisions that are made along the way. Well, the little decisions that were made along the way with the Kodiak all relate to high performance backcountry applications where there's a real strong need for useful load, for carrying lots of things, and for safety. So those have been the primary motivators behind the design. That's the thinking of the designers going into the process.
One of the things that we've looked at in engineering, obviously, knowing the kind of terrain that the airplane is made for, is the ruggedness of the airplane. And that's both in the wings, landing gear, the whole fuselage as well, just a good, solid, rugged construction. The landing gear itself has been made to handle gopher holes or small stumps or things that you can't see in tall grass, and to be able to handle that without hurting the airplane. The engineering has gone into a lot of those aspects to say, not just can we meet the regulations, but what's practical, what's real out there, what kind of things are people going to be running into.
On the production side, we understand that this airplane was built purpose specific, and it's gonna be abused. But it's not necessarily abused because that's what it was designed for. It's kind of like designing a dirt bike. It was meant to go out there and jump hills and slide through the mud and things like that. This airplane is designed for that. The way that's going to translate into success for us, I think, is we are building an extremely strong product that the commercial side and just the recreational side are going to love. I can picture guys hauling four-wheelers into a ranch, loading up their family and landing at some backcountry strip.
Well, the original foundation of the company was, of course, for the purpose of building a bush or utility backcountry aircraft for the humanitarian markets to haul lots of goods and services and people into countries to aid people. The type of plane that comes from that experience or comes from that genesis is something that is useful for anyone who wants to get into these tough situations.
I think one of the things that makes the Kodiak different from a lot of the other airplanes that I've flown in the past is that the design of the airplane has been very specific. It's been specific for the end target of going into short strips, flying in the mountains, unimproved fields, and that translates into a very rugged airplane, and the performance is there as well. I've never flown anything that has the performance that the Kodiak does.
I like the short field performance. I love watching Kelly take off and do that steep angle climb out that breaks your neck when he goes past you, and that's exciting to me.
The Kodiak, because of its STOL design and the requirements that we put on it for short takeoffs and landings, for being able to accelerate quickly out of tough spots, out of the water, for instance, required a design like this. So it's very unique and innovative in this particular aircraft, and that is what's called a discontinuous leading edge.
It does a couple things for us. With that droop leading edge, it increases the airflow over the ailerons, giving you better aileron control at slow speed. But also it creates a vortice up over the top of the wing, and that vortice helps the stall from progressing outboard as the angle of attack increases on the wing, which helps the outboard section of the wing, keep flying, even down those slow speeds. And having experienced it, it's nice. You can go out there and you can hold it all the way back into the stall, and you can roll it around with the ailerons, and it's not dropping a wing or scaring the pilot or the passengers when you get down there. It's just a very solid platform.
Safety, I think, is job one for all of us here. I mean, some of our criteria that we've developed is if there is anything that is remotely unsafe in our design, that should be addressed. There are a lot of things that you can put off and you can refine as time goes on with your production line. But safety is not an option.
That will allow someone, an individual who is interested in using this plane perhaps for their business, flying business associates around during the week, maybe they're taking their family for a trip on the weekend. That margin of safety is something that we think will be very important to those people that are considering a plane for those kinds of purposes.
Luckily, from an engineering standpoint, we've had a great team of guys to work with. We've had designers and engineers from Boeing and McDonnell Douglas and Raytheon and Pilatus and Piper and all the big names out there. You know, we've had guys who have been working in those industries and bringing a lot of experience and a lot of expertise to the table, and that has been a big help, from the small details to the larger designs, to help us meet that need that people have been asking us for.
Every Kodiak that leaves here is going to have, you know, a little bit of each of these people into it because they take it so personally. And I think every time one of these things flies, there will be a sense of satisfaction with this crew that is unmatched with other crews.
We're really blessed with a staff of people that understand where this plane's going to be used, how it's going to be used, why it's going to be used, and they have a chance, and many of them are excited about this, have a chance to design something better into an airplane that they know will be used by people like them out in the field.
And that team extends from engineering to manufacturing to the machine shop to gals answering the phones at the front desk. You know, everybody feels a part of the team.
The craftsmanship plays out is when you've got that thing, it just about fits, and the guy goes, no, I can do this better. And when he gets done, that part falls right into place, the holes line up, things aren't out of place. So it's people not accepting what's good enough. They're gonna do it just a little bit better and make it so everybody else's job is easy.
Other airplanes, for instance, that do haul cargo, that have a high useful load, perhaps might look similar. Those airplanes were designed with the idea of being able to take off of and land on asphalt primarily, because that was the thinking of the designers based on the initial customers that they had procured. So there are planes that fit more into the cargo carrying aspect that we will sometimes be compared to, but the whole purpose behind the people that were designing that airplane and the one that was designing the Kodiak are very, very different.
It looks impressive, but you got to get in there to see what it really does. That's the ticket.
It looks really cool, it's pretty, but it's also, you know, it's got that dirt bike Jeep mentality. It can take you out to dinner, or it can take you back in the woods.
When the day came that we actually saw that airplane take off and fly, there was a huge sense of relief and excitement. It was just an amazing release for us to know that what sometimes had seemed like it would never come to pass had in fact been achieved. And then when we saw what the airplane would do, and saw it go through the test flight phase, and see about a month later that they had the airplane landing on a grass field, on a turf field, and on the kind of field that it was designed for, and see its performance and know that it was meeting its objectives, it was extremely exciting. So we're